I never imagined the day would come when my own wife would disgrace me in front of another man. But it happened, and that single moment destroyed everything I thought I understood about our marriage. It began so harmlessly. My wife had just been promoted at work. She was thrilled, proud of herself, and she told me she wanted to invite her boss for dinner to show her gratitude. It sounded reasonable to me. She had worked long hours for that position, and I trusted her completely. I didn't have the slightest suspicion that anything could be wrong. When the evening arrived, I set the table with care, prepared a nice meal, and did my best to make everything perfect. She looked radiant, dressed with elegance, glowing with joy, laughing as she arranged the appetizers. I reminded myself it was only a celebration of her achievement. Nothing else. Soon after, her boss, Mikuel, showed up. He was courteous, professional, exactly the kind of man you'd expect to find in a corporate setting. At first, everything seemed normal. They shared jokes, exchanged polite chatter, and the atmosphere felt smooth, almost comfortable. Then, during the first course, Mikuel excused himself to use the bathroom. Without hesitation, my wife jumped up to lead him down the hallway. I expected them to return quickly, but the minutes dragged on. I tried to convince myself they were talking about work or something insignificant, but unease crept in the longer they stayed away. Finally, I decided to check. As I walked toward the hallway, my body froze. Right there, in my own home, I saw my wife and her boss, kissing passionately as if I didn't exist. My chest tightened, my blood rushed, my thoughts blurred. I couldn't stay quiet. I ordered him to leave immediately. He stumbled over excuses, but I wasn't listening. I turned to her, searching her face for an answer, but all I saw was betrayal. The warning signs I had brushed aside suddenly clicked, the sudden promotion, the odd whispers, the tiny inconsistencies. It was all clear now. She hadn't earned her position through effort. She had traded it for this betrayal. The woman I trusted with my life had chosen to humiliate me under my own roof. Rage, pain, shame, they all collided inside me. But even in that storm of emotions, one truth stood out. I could not remain married to someone who treated me with such contempt. The very next day, I made the decision that had been building in me since that moment. I filed for divorce. I told her directly she had crossed a line that could never be repaired. I asked her to leave, and only then did she understand that her actions carried consequences. She begged, pleaded, wept, but none of it mattered. The bond was broken, the trust gone forever. I had been humiliated once, but I refused to endure it again. This time, I was reclaiming my self-respect. Watching her pack her things in silence, I felt a strange mix, grief for the marriage I thought would last, and relief for finally freeing myself from a poisonous relationship. Painful, yes, but necessary. That night taught me something crucial. No one, not even the person you love most, has the right to strip away your dignity. I learned the hardest lesson, one that will stay with me for life. But I also discovered my own resilience, the strength to stand tall after even the deepest betrayal. From then on, I focused on rebuilding myself. Love and history mean nothing if respect and trust are gone. I promised myself never again to let anyone demean me. She made her choice, and she would live with the fallout. I walked away certain I had done what I needed to preserve my dignity. Even now, when I think back on that night, the sting of betrayal is sharp, but it's softened by pride. I survived humiliation. I endured heartbreak. And I emerged stronger, wiser, determined never to allow such cruelty again. That moment reshaped my life. It hurt, but it also revealed the truth. No one can take your power unless you hand it to them. I didn't. And I never will. It's a lesson my wife will carry forever, and a lesson I'll never forget.